Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check the new pack, the new seasonal pack for Rinko. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So we finally received all the copies for the Sky Edge pack, and the set is good. The issue is who the set is for. That's the issue. Let's analyze this very quickly, and you decide whether you get the pack or not. I mean, the skin is always nice, I won't deny that. But it is really difficult to buy a pack when you know you're not gonna fully use this gear. So, let's see. Edge Tiger. So, Kochorambu gains 50% penetration and grants super armor while active. Kochorambu is the red skill. It deals a ton of hits, and one of the many issues is that it doesn't have super armor, sure. The AoE is medium size. It's not big, but it's not small either. So it's definitely usable. This goes up to 30%, but we are only going to get the weapon to 4 out of 5. So you need to spend Demonite and Nanomachines to enhance this set to 5 out of 5. Keep that in mind. Then, it has another effect. Increases damage dealt to super armor and basic attack damage by 30%. So, you always have the damage increase, which is nice, on the basics. And if you're hitting an enemy with super armor, you also get that damage increase for your skills. That's nice and all. The issue is Rinko itself. Rinko is a character who is prone to interruption. And not only that, she doesn't have HP recovery unless she goes blue, which is terrible. When she can easily be interrupted, she is not tanky, and she doesn't have healing. There's few instances when you're gonna want to use this weapon. Basically, this weapon is good on something that you are already prepared to beat. But in that case, you could use any weapon. It doesn't provide that much value. That's the issue with this one. That since the character needs to be babysit to some degree, you need very specific supporters to make sure that she doesn't die. She's going to have troubles because she gets interrupted and she lacks natural healing. So you want to use something like, let's say, a Susune to heal, and even so you have to wait for the active. It is bad. It is just bad. The weapon is good. The effects are good. The character itself is bad. Maybe without rework this would gain a ton of value. But until then, justifying spending on this, it's kind of difficult. Now let's talk about the supporter. The supporter, on the other hand, is not that bad. It isn't super busted, but it is not that bad. Similar to many other supporters, it has a ton of different effects, and it doesn't excel at any given effect, but they're useful in conjunction. So, whether you use a machine or a human, you're gonna get a buff. In the case of machines, you get critical rate increase, and in the case of humans, you get critical damage increase. So, this is nice in most instances. The only thing that it's not good is for VR. But it has other effects that you can take advantage of on VR. Then, when the enemy super armor is destroyed, the character skill cooldown time is reset and disactivates every 20 seconds. That's really good actually, because it's not percentage based. You are guaranteed to reset this. The issue is that you're not going to break the super armor of the enemy that fast unless you have the right teammates and the right gear. But it is a nice surprise to just have your cooldowns reset and just abuse them whenever you can. Then it has an extra passive. When the enemy super armor is destroyed, their damage taken increases by 12% for 10 seconds, up to 20% for 10 seconds. That's really nice. A big debuff that is going to increase your damage. Lastly, the active. On a 55-second cooldown, it says swiftly slashes nearby enemies, dealing 66% of damage up to 132% of continuous damage, and breaks their super armor. So the super armor break part is the important one, but you have to consider that it says nearby enemies. That means that you gotta be next to the enemy. And again, with Rinko, that's awful. But if you equip this to another character, it's very doable, especially if they have a supportive role. They're gonna be even more supportive. I wouldn't recommend this for your main damage dealer on VR because that won't give you that much value since you are missing the damage increase because it's only on crits. But this is doable on tower or maybe even in total war. I don't think this is going to be important on total war because it provides control over the enemy and a little bit of damage. But in total war, you want a ton of damage regardless of control because you get control just by destroying the super armor by dealing huge amount of damage. So I think the supporter is better than the weapon. The weapon is not bad. Again, the character is what's bad. So, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you a run, and I'm gonna change this one for Rinko. Let's go Rinko. Where is she? Over here. The thing is, I'm not gonna do floor 110. Impossible to do so. No. Not even 100. Because it's a Rinko, and I'm not using HP recovery on the main. Or perhaps I am. I don't remember the build, but it is bad. It is really bad that Rinko is unable to do this without being babysit. So, first of all, yeah, it's this one. It's this one. Yeah, sure. Let's go with this. So, let me show you. We have Edge Trigger, right? That is going to increase the performance of Kocho Rambo and it's going to enhance our basic. Then we have the critical Magatamas water element to enhance the speed. Whatever attack Magatamas on the subload, whatever weapon on the subload, 5 out of 5 and plus 15, 4 out of 5 and plus 15. Kocho Rambo, basic enhancer. I mean, it makes total sense to equip this if you have the weapon. And Violet Slash. Honestly, just cause. If you want to change Violet Slash for Wind Slice, which is not good on red, but you can, or Spatial Reef. Even a Spatial Reef is good enough. I think I'm gonna do that because I'm gonna gather the enemies. Then Asuka to enhance my critical rate by debuffing the enemy, gain penetration and gain a huge critical damage increase. Susune because free debuffs. Where? Ah, yeah. This is the one without the supporter, and it makes total sense. Susune for the damage increase, and Lydia for the critical damage increase. Stats of the customs, which are a lot. Yeah, Rinko has a ton of skins. Stats of the stat training, and let's do the run. She is going to obliterate this stage. Particularly, she can. But as I mentioned, you are using this particular weapon and there's actually no reason to do so. Because you can already do this with any kind of weapon. Yeah, you do get value, but I mean, what's the difference? And I just use the basics and Kocho Rambu. And more basics. Yeah. But as I mentioned, you cannot do this on higher floors because you don't have HP recovery. That's the only issue. The sole reason why we cannot do runs on something a little bit more difficult. I'm gonna show you on step 100. I mean, perhaps I'm tanky enough, but I don't think so. Yeah, here you saw that I receive little damage. But if we compare that with the kind of performance that we see on step 100, yeah, only 100, not over 100. So again, the enemies are very competent on this stage, so they can deal enough damage to just eliminate me. I mean, these are the mobs. The bosses are the dangerous ones. And one thing to take into consideration is that this set has, let's say, complementary synergies because they work on opposite sides of the spectrum. The weapon gives you benefit if the enemy has super armor, and the supporter gives you benefit when the enemy doesn't have super armor. So you don't get the most benefit at the same time. It's when you don't get benefit, they give you a different kind of benefit. So it is, while it is usable, it is not the most effective thing. That's why you prefer to equip them separate. Over there. Nice. Done. Well, perhaps I can do the floor 100. Perhaps. Let's see. Now I have 3 bosses, so I have to be careful. And I don't want to use the active. That would be cheating. Neither do I want to use the ultimate. Okay. I am tanking out, perhaps because I have the all the awakenings. But without that, it will be troublesome. It's still troublesome. I mean, I'm almost at 50% of my HP. And definitely the pulling attack, the what's the name? Spatial Rift helps out to control a little bit the enemy so that they don't interrupt me as much. Well, that was unexpected. Can I do better? No, I know I cannot do this, and I'm gonna show you that I cannot. At this point, it is very, very difficult to gain to clear the stage because the enemies have so much damage, so much HP, and I don't have HP recovery. At least not on red. That's the issue with Rinko. She really needs another rework. She needs a leader skill. She needs to stop jumping to do an attack, one of her most important attacks. Because that's a lot of time wasted. Here I'm going to use the supporter. Just like that. Oh, why you little... There. I'm just gonna wait. And Kochorambu. No, you... Why you... You see? You see the issue? She cannot recover HP. That's the big issue. She can deal damage, sure. But what am I going to do about the next boss? I mean... particularly, the next one is pretty oppressive. So I need to be even more oppressive to actually deal damage. And no, I mean it is the set is good. The character is what needs help. I mean, this doing a jump is pretty bad. Felicia already got a rework where they eliminated her jump on her green skill, and I like the jump, but I'm gonna admit that it wastes time without any purpose. Now, this skill is the one that heals, but it only heals on blue. She desperately needs a way to heal. She also needs some form of control over the enemy if she's going to be that susceptible to interruptions. Maybe a slow, a stun, let's say, what's the name? And a snare. I mean, she's not gonna apply man control, but that would be pretty useful. She is really lacking in control. I mean, she has a spatial rift, but that's a pulling effect, and enemies with super armor are not gonna be under the influence of this, or well, it's gonna be minimal if at all. So Yeah, Rinko is the issue. But. Can we take advantage out of this supporter? Is it worth using? Well, yeah, it's actually a pretty good supporter if you don't equip it to Rinko. Let me show you. So, we have the Tarigatana over here that is going to increase my basic attacks and is going to give me speed when using Stormbringer, if I'm not mistaken. Speed increase, yeah, and increases damage dealt with range attacks by 16% for 10 seconds, up to 3 stacks. Nice, yeah, it's gonna be really aggressive. We have the critical water Magatamas because we have a melee build, a whatever attack Magatamas, whatever weapon on the sublot, 5 out of 5 and plus 15 this one, plus 14 this one. Stormbringer, Mirage Strike, and Storm Dance. Huge damage thanks to the weapon. Besides, this is one of the best basic enhancers in the game. And Storm Dance to heal. This is only a healing skill, more than anything. Then, of course, we have Rinko on the main. It gives a ton of value even if you don't have it on the main. But in this case, we are using it on the main. For Yusuke because there's Bobs, and Barretta because we're gonna crit a lot. Stats of the customs, start training, and we start with this one. So here it's very important to be careful. This supporter is going to be extremely good for very aggressive characters who can just destroy the enemies with minimal effort. Because they are naturally going to be able to destroy the super armor. That's why it's so good with those. Because they don't need to abuse the active. They can just do it. Yes, just like that. Nice. And I just reposition and heal if I can. Reposition and heal, just like that. Perfect. Stormbringer. I just use this, my healing, and I'll keep attacking. Stormbringer. And there we go. Nice. Pretty easy, as you can see. Now, as for the next one, I want to use the ulti. Momochi is particularly good at interrupting actions, and I am using Momochi herself, and she is prone to interruption. So I definitely want to use the ulti so that I can deal with the waves of enemies. I just reposition, I use the active, and now I can use Stormbringer to interrupt her actions. Then I can heal as much as I want. Stormbringer, yeah, nice. I just do this and I can heal. And there we go, nice. Healing and done. It is a pretty strong character, Momochi, so it is really easy to use this supporter. Since we always crit, thanks to her stats and the weapons. I use reposition. And the idea is that I use the active right at the start of the battle, of the next wave, but when the enemies are gathered together. I want to do it by repositioning behind. Oops. Over here. Here. Exactly where I wanna. No! I didn't do it properly. Okay. Well, doesn't matter. I'll eliminate the enemies because those can interrupt my actions. And oh, okay. Kirara. Sure. Well, as you can see, this supporter is pretty good for the characters that can deal a ton of damage and break the super armor quickly, because they don't have to wait the 60, well, almost 60 seconds to gain the benefit of the skill reset. And that's why you want to equip it on very aggressive supporters. And remember, you can only use this on humans and machines. So, and let's go with the machines quickly. Machines. To say the truth, I only think there are two characters that can use this effectively, and that will be Saika and Asuka. Because those are the most aggressive characters. The skills from the other characters don't provide too much value when they get the reset. Maybe Mirabelle's skills do provide value, but I think that the best ones to use this supporter for machines would be Asuka and Saika. As for humans, it is a little bit more difficult. So, there's a ton of humans which have good skills. But maybe they are not great on red. They don't provide anything particularly useful. Like, for example, Murasaki has a very small AoE by comparison when you use her red skill. And yeah, you can pair it perfectly. You break the super armor and then you start attacking with the red skill, but that's the best that you can do with this combo. Shirano is a pretty competent red attacker, but she's just an attacker. She doesn't provide anything particularly good. So yeah, there's a bunch of that. Like Heavika doesn't do anything that impressive. Neither does Fuma. I mean, Tokiko. Who would be the best character to use on red? Oddly enough, supporter Su is a really good option. Attacker Manka. Yeah, she's a great option. The issue is that she doesn't synergize with the melee approach of the supporter active. That's the only issue. But you can just manually get near the enemy, use the active, and then you start attacking and you gain distance. I mean, it is possible to use her. Shizuru. Shizuru is a great option for the supporter. She's already a supporter, and she provides even more utility with this. So definitely a good pick. And Natsu, no, Red Natsu is an attacker. Yeah, you see what I mean. Sora has exactly the same problem as Micah. She's a pretty competent attacker, but she doesn't want to be near the enemy. She can, because she has a buff, a perfect dodge buff. So you dodge, you use the supporter, and then you attack. That's an option. But and another great pick is Momochi Nagi. We just saw how good she is, so you might as well. And of course, Asusa is doable. Now, let's do a run with Asuka. So for Asuka, we're gonna be using the Clear Wing Blade, which is going to give us a chance to reactivate Rendering Storm, which is nice. It is just nice. It is not a big deal, but usable. And then we use Critical Water and Critical Wind, along with whatever attack Magatama and whatever a weapon. 5 out of 5 plus 15, 3 out of 5 plus 15. Yeah, this could be better, but well, it is what I have. Rendering Storm, Wind God Slice Zone, and I was using originally Wind God, the basic enhancer, but now I change it to Dust Cyclone, and there's a reason for that. So, we're using, obviously, White Feather Asuka. White Feather Asuka is going to be one of the best supporters that you can pair with the new Rinko supporter. You can put this on a different character and have one of your characters in the team equipped with White Feather Asuka, and that way you're going to activate a ton the super armor break. And if you manually pilot the one who has Rinko, she can just break the super armor whenever White Feather Asuka misses her effect. So this gives me a ton of damage, super armor break, and it also recovers HP. Not to mention the attack. This one is going to give me critical rate and is going to give me the skill reset, which is useful. And that's if we use key for the damage. Stats of the customs, start training, and let's do the run. So in this case, we start by using Rendering Storm, and then we evade. Yeah. And we attack, and we use Dust Cyclone, And yeah, I don't have the most damage right now because I'm still missing um, a couple buffs. Now I can just reposition and okay, there, perfect. Now again, remember that rendering storm can be interrupted. It is super important that you remember that. Again, nice. And I'm gonna use the active, and I'm gonna use rendering storm. Come on. There. Rendering storm. Okay. Good, good, good. Can I just break the super armor so that I can restart my skills? It seems not. Well, doesn't matter. I'm gonna use the ultimate just cause, because I need contrary to what I do on other runs, I actually need the enemies on Nagi's wave to be alive. They're going to allow me to heal. Yeah, hey, come over here. Yeah, heal me, heal me. Yeah, I heal by breaking the super armor, so that's why I use this. Oh no, oh no. I wanted to heal more. Well, heal, heal, heal. Oh! Just break your super armor. Okay. I just go away and then I start healing. Just like that. Perfect. Perfect. Nice, nice, nice. It is not that difficult to deal with Nagi by comparison. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. So yeah, the healing this provides is pretty good, specifically with Asuka, due to the amount of multi-hit at the big AoE of the perfect dodge. It is just amazing how much HP you can heal. Done. Super easy, super easy. Lastly, I'm just gonna ultimate. Honestly, these can be very tricky and very risky because, as you know, those enemies are able to interrupt you, and that's something that I don't want to see. And done. Nice. Great, great, great. So, I have one more build, just so that you know. And that's gonna be on Taima 5 VR. Let's do step 99 with this one. So, I originally did it with a different supporter for one of the characters. Let's start with the one that is unchanged, and that's Sora. Sora is just an attacker. It has the renewal weapon, anti-machine Magatamas, whatever Magatamas on the subslot, both weapons 5 out of 5 and plus 15. As for the skills, the basic enhancer, Chosen, and Celestial Fox, because she goes rainbow, we have Misaki with Amane and Fuyutsuki. Since this week we have VR with mobs, we use Fuyutsuki. Start of the customs, start training, and now this one. This slot you can change for a different character. In fact, you can change the main supporter to this one just to perform the role that we need. But I'm using Phantasma, and you could change this for a healer in case you need it. But I'm using Phantasma. She's using Golden Sphere because I'm going mixed, but mainly it's green. We have Anti-Machine Wind, whatever Magatamas on the sublot for both weapons 5 out of 5 and plus 15. As for the skills, Clinging Nightmare because of the multi-hit and because it's the main green. Succubus Whisper to increase the damage of my teammates, though the AoE is going to be reduced, unfortunately, because the slot effect is not applied. and slash horror to get next to the enemy so that we can abuse the leader skill. Yeah. Then White Feather Asuka. Yeah, originally I wasn't using White Feather Asuka. I was using Corporate Warrior Ingrid, which is also a good option. But if you want to use Akiyama Rinko, preferably you use any character that provides super armor break on demand. It's gonna be extremely good. And for that you need White Feather Asuka with a great multi-hit attacker on the skills. Then Misaki and Saika, start of the customs, start training. And lastly, supporter. Well, we have one more thing to check, but we have supporter Sue over here. So I'm reading backwards today. Let's see. On identify knuckle X, whatever weapon 5 out of 5 plus 15, whatever weapon 5 out of 5 plus 10. We have anti-machine wood Magatemes, whatever Magatemes on the subslot. Then Shunrenka, just because it's the pure red skill, not because I actually want to use this one. I would prefer to use another supportive skill, but I don't have another supportive skill that gives me benefit. Ryurinkoku. Ryurinko is going to give me a damage increase. That's why we use it. Also, it gives me damage reduction and super armor, which is nice. And lastly, Shinryuga. Shinryuga is the main reason we use Sue, because she is going to provide 30% defense reduction on 10 seconds. That's pretty aggressive. It is amazing. Lastly, we have the supporters. We have Rinko, of course. She's going to be able to just break the super armor on demand, and she's going to reset her cooldowns ASAP. That's a great reason to use this one. And then we have Susune, and we have Yukina to increase damage. Stats of the customs, start training, and let's do the run. Honestly, I mean, we have the busted attackers, so it's gonna be fine. But I'm piloting the supporter, so we start by using the skill, and then we use the supporter, the active, and that way we control the enemy constantly. I reduce this defense of the enemies, and just like that we are done with this. Pretty easy, pretty simple, really aggressive. The super armor control this provides is pretty good. It is a shame that we don't get the most benefit of using this supporter on BR. It's almost perfect for BR. If not for the fact that the buff, the boost it provides is for critical, both critical rate and critical damage. It's nice on any other mode, but not on BR. And we love this super armor break on BR. And on every other mode too, sure. Anyways, should you get this pack or not? Should you get all the copies of the weapons? Have you been getting all the copies of the weapons? To say the truth, I think it's really difficult to say, yeah, I'm gonna get this. It's good. It is good. The set is good. The issue is Rinko herself. And there's a not insignificant chance that she's gonna get another update. Not soon, I can tell you that. It's not gonna be soon. But she does need the leader skill. She does need to change tremendously. She does need the renewal weapon. She doesn't have a renewal weapon, just so that you know. So, yeah, chances are not zero. But, it's difficult to convince people right now to get this. So, it's up to you whether you wanna future-proof your account or not. In my case, I did get all the copies. But I cannot tell you, yeah, invest those desire points. So of course it's gonna be worth it. Invest those PvP coins. Of course it's worth it. Right now we don't know. The support is usable, but I wouldn't say it's the most broken thing out there. So let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye.